didn't hear him say he was suing Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Drake.
All right, so Jim Jones recently did that interview with Justin LeBoy, and he spoke on the Drake UMG lawsuit, and it looked like he was defending Drizzy. Let's check this out, like the video, and subscribe.
A lot of things that go on with somebody doing a power move like that. Like anytime a person like that does some shit that he knows gonna be, it's like it ain't just small fries and shit like that. Yeah. But when you're dealing with social media, people make everything seem smaller than what it is and shit like that, and quick to say whatever and shit like that. I mean, whatever it is, man, that's not my field and shit like that. You dig? If it works in his favor, I hope it do and shit like that. You know what I mean? But I don't think that him doing that with business is no reflection of the streets.
Okay.
And he doesn't feel to me like he is a street person like that. But I think that's two different things. That's straight business and shit like that. He's dealing with Spotify, some shit like that.
Yeah, Spotify, UMG, some whole other.
Like I didn't hear him say he was suing Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't hear him say that he was suing somebody personally and shit like that. Nigga, if I seen people sue AT&T and Pepsi and get a bag for it. Right. You heard like people win lawsuits all the time against companies and nobody hold that against a nigga. Like, oh, they got that lawsuit money. That nigga already balling. I never heard a nigga be like, oh, this nigga, oh, he sued a nigga. Oh, you suing niggas now for that money? I never heard that. So when I think about it, it's like, yo, is it any different than him suing Walmart?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not to put, I really don't care either or and shit like that, but thinking about what it is, like, come on, man. Niggas sue for people for dollars all the time.
Now, what's a few things that Jim Jones is leaving out? Okay, yeah, Drake didn't say that he was suing Kendrick Lamar, but he is suing UMG because of the promotion of Not Like Us, which is the song that ended the beef. When Not Like Us came out, I think at that point everybody deemed Kendrick the victor, and now Drake is suing his record label because of that song. And then you sprinkle in bots in the mix. It's almost like you trying to throw dirt on Kendrick's name and say he really didn't get all of those plays, and that song isn't really that big because of the bots. Those are the key factors that Jim Jones has to remember. So yeah, you didn't hear him say he was suing Kendrick Lamar, but the lawsuit does feel like he's suing because of Kendrick Lamar. He might not be suing Kendrick directly, but it feels like he's suing because of Kendrick. Now, did Jim Jones have a point in saying, yeah, you've seen people, sue companies and people be happy for him? I always see people so happy about Tracy Morgan getting all of that money when he sued that company. I think he was in a car accident or something like that, or he got hit by a car or something, and he won all of that money. I remember Danny Brown, who was a Detroit rapper. I'm sure some of y'all know Danny Brown. They said when Danny was young, he had a situation where he had to sue and he won all of this money. And we do that all the time. Recently, I think T.I. and Tiny won some big lawsuit and everybody was like, yeah, go get that bag. So yeah, in other situations that have nothing to do with a rap beef, yeah, people are typically excited to see somebody get a big bag from a company. But this situation is totally different. And I feel like Jim isn't acknowledging that. And then you got to think about Drake always showing love to Dipset and the Diplomats. And yeah, you can look at this like this is Jim Jones covering for Drake. Or this is Jim Jones trying to maintain a relationship with Drake. Because if y'all don't know, Jim Jones is still putting out music. Maybe he trying to save up some Drake points, some OVO points, some OVO bucks, so he can get a Drake feature. All right? I don't know. And I still consider Jim Jones to be a real one. All right? But in this situation, yeah, I do think he was conveniently leaving out some very important points about this UMG lawsuit. Now, does that mean I think Drake is wrong for suing UMG? Not 100%, Because if I'm Drake and I'm having contract negotiation issues and I feel like this company is going to use this beef against me, even though I've been carrying the whole goddamn record label by myself, if I felt like I had to sue, I would. And I do think if Drake leaves this lawsuit with some huge number or some huge amount of money, a few people will look at it differently, but right now, it just is what it is. It looks like Drake is mad. It looks like Drake is in his feelings, and it looks like that's why Drake is suing. And look, I do think some people are gonna look at Jim a little funny for this, but I guess in some way I can appreciate his loyalty to Drake. It's been a few people that's still loyal to Drake. I think 21 Savage is still loyal. You know, of course, all of them dudes at OVO are still loyal. But, you know, I got to give it to Jim for being somebody who's stepping out and saying, yo, the lawsuit isn't really that crazy. And for that matter, I don't think 50 Cent really killed Drake for the lawsuit. It's been a few people who've given like these political correct answers without trying to really insult Drake for the lawsuit, because I think a lot of people in the industry, they understand, you know, suing the big company at times. And I think there is a lot of people who see the potential in the bag that Drake could get if he's successful. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. And the people have decided and the people have spoken. Okay. So, you know, shout out to Jim being loyal. But yeah, it's going to be a few people that look at Jim a little funny for this. It just is what it is. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Like the video and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.